So, very good afternoon to all the students who are present in this very session. I hope my voice is loud and clear to all those who are present here today. So, we are meeting for the very first time, and the course name is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The course instructor for this is Professor B.K. Chakravarti, sir, and primarily the aim of these problem solving sessions are to help you in terms of attempting these questions. The help is offered you in a certain way, which basically means that what we do is we do certain activities in these particular sessions, which will be continued in all our live sessions for 12 weeks. It starts with a brief round of introduction. This is followed by a basic premise of the course, wherein we try to understand the critical dates and how the marking is being done, those criterias. What are the criterias to gain the certificate, right? That is also equally important. And as you proceed further, we also have a section of content recap. Now, the content recap is basically to help you in giving you a very brief, quick round of whatever has been informed in the that particular week's content. It also helps you, in brushing up, what has happened in the last 1 week. And then we have a set of 10 questions. Now, these set of 10 questions are a little different from what you have already seen or attempted in your week one assignment. Okay. Now, the idea is that the set of 10 questions which I propose are different from the one which are already there in the live assignment. Although they follow the familiar and similar kind of typology of questions, right? So the idea is, help you in attempting these questions, try to understand what are the different ways the questions can be asked, what are the different typology of the questions. So in that way, these sessions will help you a lot. At the end, we have a session wherein we have the questions which are asked in the discussion forum. So as of now, there are not any questions, but as we proceed further, I'll let you know, how and what are the different ways by which you can ask questions if you have any doubts in terms of the lecture, right? So now what we'll do is, since today is a very beginning session and we have a lot many contributors here, let me first introduce myself and then I'll ask you to raise your hand for those who wants to introduce themselves. Okay. So let me also join in this particular session so that I'll know, when the screen is visible and, those things. Okay. So meanwhile, I would request all those who wants to introduce themselves. This being the first session, it will always be good. And you can just simply raise your hand and maybe I'll just call out your name. What you'll need to do is you just need to tell me your name. And if you are a student, then in which year you are currently studying, from which institution and which stream you are studying, and where are you located, and probably trying to understand and why have you taken this course, right? So if you can say one line about it, that will be really helpful. I'll just quickly. Okay. So another important thing for all of you is to please keep your mics on mute because we are recording all these sessions and all these sessions will be recorded and uploaded on YouTube. So it's very, very important that we maintain the decorum of the session, right? So I'll begin with myself. My name is Abhishek Srivastav, and currently I am a research scholar at the Department of Design, IIT Roorkee in Uttarakhand. And before I joined for this research journey, I was I had my education in Bachelor's of Architecture and Masters of Design, both from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. After that, I had worked for around 8 years, both in academics as well as companies. For example, I worked in Infosys in Bangalore and Think Design in New Delhi. And I also had a startup. I was entrepreneur for a period of 2 years, and then I slowly shifted into teaching aspect, wherein I taught at different institutions, including my own parent institution, followed by World University of Design in Sonipat, Haryana, and then UP Institute of Design in Delhi NCR region. And after that, I decided to take up my doctoral journey. So that is a very brief, introduction about myself. And I'm also the Prime Minister's Research Fellow. And being a fellow of that, it mandates us to take additional assignment of teaching, and that is where NPTEL platform has given us this opportunity for us to engage with all the learners, who want to learn more. And particularly, I've taken up this course of understanding incubation and entrepreneurship. And I would like to tell you that I've been taking up this course for the last few semesters. So currently, this is my fourth or fifth batch of learners who will be joining me, probably for the duration of the next 12 weeks. Right. So with that, I will conclude my introduction. And again, I will request those who want to introduce themselves. You may please raise your hand, and one by one, I will be calling your names. It will be great if you can turn on your camera and introduce yourself. However, if you're not comfortable or there are internet issues, then it is your call. You can accordingly take that decision. Right. So the first person I could see is Atish. Atish Daria Kukar. Yes. You can please unmute yourself and.
Hello, I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are audible. Now you're on mute.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, okay, so very good afternoon, all of you. And thank you very much, Abhishek, for a very kind introduction. So, I am Dr. Acharya Purkar. I am working as a assistant professor in Triple IT Nagpur, and I am leading Institute Innovation Council from 2017.
Nice,
Now I am
nice.
promoted to resident for the IIC.
Okay.
Also, I am a incubation coordinator at Triple IT Nagpur, and we are in the process to establish the incubation and draft the policies. For that purpose, I would like to know about this incubation and the entrepreneurship journey. That is the only purpose that I have registered this course officially to learn about the incubation and entrepreneurship.
Sir, your good
And
name, sir, once again?
Atish,
Atish.
Atish Atyapurkar.
Okay, okay. Dr. Atish. Yes, yes.
But I have just one question to Abhishek. Because since I am just connected with these words, and these are the buzzing words right now: the incubation, entrepreneurship, innovation, and startup. So I am planning to move my journey from academician to entrepreneurship. Because unless and until I won't become an entrepreneur, then I can't say other to become an entrepreneur. But your is reverse. So I'm very eager to know about that thing little bit. Thank you.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you for the lovely introduction. In fact, even if you are a part of an institution and you are trying to do a lot of things, then and there is another term which is called as entrepreneur. So within an organization, you are trying to take up and do various initiatives. Now, so entrepreneurship is basically a mindset, and I believe that you already have it, and it's very great that you have enrolled in this particular course. I sincerely believe that as and when the content will be revealed one by one, week wise, you'll know more about what are the different kind of facilities which are available across India, what kind of offerings they have, what kind of offering they have for different kind of domains. For example, biomedical, there is a field and things like that. और जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, you will understand a little more about these things, and I hope you will have a lot more new things to know from this particular course.
What was the turning point that you became entrepreneur to academician? and why that
So,
is so actually.
acha, acha. So basically, initially I had worked in companies, and while I was working for a company, since I had a design background, so I did couple of academic projects. And in one of the projects, I felt that this is something which which can be taken further into the market. So that's when I decided that let's take a call on this. Let's devote certain time to it. So I invested around 2.5, 3 years working around it. Now that company or a startup was focused into furniture design, but also aiming at the environmental concerns. So it was more about how we can make things environment friendly and all. So we gained good traction from the market. We did quite a lot of projects from for different industries. But while I was doing this startup, we were also taking workshops with different institutions, wherein we were trying to tell about design and upcycling. How do you reuse? And then slowly those workshops transformed into engaging with these young minds for a lot more time. So, so it depends on where's your heart calling, and then you move on according to it.
I can understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, most welcome, sir. The next person we have is Mr. Piyush Singh. Hi, Piyush. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
So, hello everyone. Hello Abhishek. My name is Piyush and I am in third year. I'm currently pursuing Bachelor's of Design for Interaction Design. And my college is LPU, Lovely Professional University in Fagwada, Punjab. And the question that you asked, that why I chose design, actually, the apps and websites that I use daily, I wanted to become a developer at first, but I thought like when you can't make the design perfect, how will you be going to develop it? Like there are lags that is already present in the design, so we'll work on it. The second thing that why I chose like this understanding incubation and entrepreneurship is that I thought like being passionate about something like design, and then you'll be having an entrepreneurial mindset, then you can even like complete your needs and you'll be in your freedom area there where you can design and you can live your life happily with making a business too. So that was my mindset for this one.
Very nice, Piyush. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for introducing yourself. Do we have any other learner who would want to tell a little about yourself? अगर आप हिंदी में कंफर्टेबल है, आप हिंदी में भी बता सकते हैं. हमारा प्रमुख कारण ये जानने का है कि आप कौन हैं, कहाँ से हैं, और क्योंकि पूरे भारतवर्ष से लोग ये कोर्स ज्वाइन करते हैं. So that is why we would want to know from where all at different geographic locations people have joined in for this particular course. So the last 3 to 4 run-ups of this course, we had a lot of diversity. I must tell you this. So the first diversity was with respect to the geographical locations. As like I mentioned, across India we had got lots and lots of people from different colleges, not only from engineering but management colleges as well, and even pharmacy. So and diversity in terms of location was there, diversity in terms of domains was there, and then diversity in terms of occupation was there, profession was there. So while students were primarily attending it for either they had some flavor of entrepreneurship, or they wanted to do something, they had that fire within them, or they were doing it because it was an academic requirement. That is also there. Certain institutions, they say, and they have told students to take up certain NPTEL course so that it becomes a part of their credit requirement. And then we have lots and lots of faculty members, like one we saw right now, and then there are many faculty members, right from young faculty members to many senior faculty members. They had also been taking up this course. And then the people from the industry, they have also been very much interested in this particular course, and they had joined in, they have learned a lot from this particular course. So the course is directed for anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, irrespective of what you are studying, irrespective of what profession you are in. The idea is to give you all the needs and help and hands, making you aware of all the different kind of facilities which are available across India in different institutions, in different IITs, Atal Tinkering Labs, design innovation centers, wherein you can go, you can further develop your ideas, you can get the hand holding support, and you can flourish as a starter, right? So again, once again, one more call. If anybody would want to introduce themselves, please raise your hand, or you can just turn on your camera and unmute and speak. So I see a lot of students as well. All right. Okay. Okay. So last 1 minute. Anybody who wants to introduce themselves, please raise your hand. Or otherwise, we will start our session today. All right. No issues. No issues. So you can take your time. Maybe once we conclude the session, you can again come up and introduce yourself. So I'll share my screen, and I'll just request anyone to please let me know if you are able to see the screen.
Yes, your screen is visible now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So once again, I welcome all the learners of this course. The course is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship, and here we are today at week 1. As I mentioned, the course instructor and the curator of this course is Professor V.K. Chakrabarti sir. And as we all know today, this is the very first session. It's a week 1 session. My name is Abhishek. I've briefly introduced myself already. So going further, these live sessions are there to help you in the current run of course, and we aim to help you, like I mentioned, by certain ways. We will discuss and solve week specific assignments, which are set of 10 questions. So what we mean by week specific assignments is basically that, every week, there is a content which is being released, and our aim is to stick to that content and then prepare certain questions which are different from your live assignment, because the live assignments are there to assess you, and those marks will be utilized for further criteria of your certification. Okay, so that is why the set of questions which we choose here are different. And although these are week specific, so whatever week content, so for example, today we will be having questions which are pertaining to week 1. Okay, but these will be different questions. And another thing which I would want to highlight is that these set of 10 questions which we have in the problem solving sessions, these are not there to evaluate you. Okay, it is not to evaluate you. We will not be giving any marks to you guys, or so you can be free. You can share your viewpoint. You can tell us why do you think this could be the right answer. We can do some kind of little voting wherein we see how the learner community is trying to address this particular question in a certain way, right? So whenever we come to that section of set of 10 questions, I would request you to please be active. You can type in the correct answer in the chat box. We can do a very quick voting, and we can understand, which way the entire community is thinking, and then we can discuss further upon, why this particular answer, why it is not that answer, and things like that. All right. So that is the basic idea around it. We are also here to respond to any of the questions and queries. There are certain ways by which you can do it. The first and the most efficient way, I would say, is the discussion forum. In the subsequent slide, I will let you know how to utilize that. But NPTEL has a very interesting approach of utilizing this discussion forum. The second aspect is by asking a question in the JMeet session. So what you can do is you can type in your question, and we'll try to address it in that same particular session, or maybe we'll take it up in the subsequent session. Okay, but the most preferred way of asking questions is the discussion forum. Okay, like I mentioned, in every session we'll be following a certain set of slide deck. Okay, now this slide deck will have some things which will repeat in each and every session. The first thing which will repeat is the protocol slides. What do I mean by that? So there are certain slides which are important, and in every session we'll be going through those slides. Now these slides pertain to the course overview. It also talks about the marking criteria. It talks about the certification criteria. It also talks about critical dates. These dates could be with respect to your registration of the exam, with respect to the assignments which is being floated, or at the time of hall ticket, which is as and when we will be reaching the end of the particular course. Okay. Then comes your content recap. Now, this particular thing I have introduced because in the last few turns of me, trying to understand this course and the learners who have adopted this particular course, I realized that a lot of students are not getting sufficient time to go through the content. One might be engaged with certain classes, examinations, or professionally you are engaged. And when I took up the set of 10 questions, they were completely blank. Okay. So the idea of introducing content recap is basically to help you slide through in a very quick way what all content was talked about in a very brief manner. It is like a visual summary of the entire content in a few slides. So the moment you go through it through visual explorations, you try and understand a lot of more better, and you are able to retain things in a much more better way. So that is why we have this content recap section, which is basically a visual summary, right? It's a visual summary. By visual summary, we mean that it is a snapshot journey of the content which is being provided. And finally, we have set of 10 questions. Okay. Again, we will be discussing each questions. We'll try to validate the questions with the content which has been offered, so that all the questions have validated solutions. Also, it is important that in the exam you get questions which are different from your assignment. Many times they are similar, but many times they are different. So these set of 10 questions adds to your learning. So whenever you are preparing for your examination, at that time you will have a question bank of like 240 questions, because there are set of 10 questions every week from the assignment which are 120 questions, and then there is the extra set of 10 questions which are there in the live session. So in and all you will be having around 240 questions in your question bank, which will help you in terms of dealing with your final examination. So just give me a minute. I'm also trying to log in so that
Will this recording of this session will be available on the platform after this meeting?
yes, very much. So that's a very good and important point. I'll be discussing about that as well in the subsequent slide. So where the recording and the presentations will be saved, right? We'll be having that in a certain slide. Okay. So now during the live sessions, there are a few things which I request from everyone, every learner, that please keep your mic on mute because we are trying to avoid any unnecessary noise disturbances because all this gets uploaded to YouTube. It's a mandate for us to upload the content on YouTube, all the live sessions. However, you are free to unmute and speak when we are discussing the questions and when you are responding to the questions. That is completely relevant and you can do it. For the questions, kindly pose the question in the discussion forum. So where is this discussion forum? Now, this is how your login page looks like in the NPTEL platform. This is your registered email ID. And what you see on the left are certain call to actions buttons. So to register for examination, you need to go here. And here you will see the course outline. So basically, this widget which you see on the left hand side is basically having all your week-wise content. All right. So the content will be available in this particular widget. There are certain header which are available here. So all the major announcements happen in this particular tab. The course detailing is here. What we are referring to is the discussion forum. So this particular is available from Ask a Question tab. Okay. So you can explore this. How it is relevant is that it's highlighted. Okay. This is the Ask a Question tab. Okay. From here you can use the discussion forum functionality. Now it leads you to Google Groups, and in this groups we have these three stakeholders. You can say you've got the NPTEL team. You've got me as your TA, and then you have got all the learners who are enrolled in this session. In fact, in this course. So all the learners who have been enrolled in the Understanding Incubation Entrepreneurship, irrespective of whether they are registered or not, they are also a part of this particular Google Groups discussion. Okay. So the moment you post a question here, all these three stakeholders get notified about it. Okay. So it's very important because it may be a case wherein you are having a certain question and maybe few others also have the same question, but they are not asking, right? So the moment you post a question there, it will be flashed and notified to all these three stakeholders. And in fact, it helps us in a way so that, if I want to reply to that question, I can reply and all these three stakeholders can be notified about it. Okay. So there is this question and the remedial. Both can be evident to all the members who are present in this particular course, right? So it's a very great functionality. You can try using it. Next comes the question what was asked by one of the learners is that where the recordings will be available. So like I said, on the left widget, you can see the course outline. Okay. The moment week 1 course is over and our problem solving session is over, maybe in the next few days, we'll be able to see this particular link. Okay. It's not visible now because today we are having our first problem solving session. But in due course, I'm assuming within a week or even earlier than that, maybe like next 2-3 days, this link will become active. And once you click here, this will open. This will lead you to again a different page, which will have a click here button. So there are a number of clicks involved here, but it's basically the UI which is there. The moment you click here, it will lead you to a spreadsheet. Okay. What do I mean by spreadsheet? It is basically like a Microsoft Excel sheet, which has a matrix of cells. And within that, for every week, I'll be uploading a specific YouTube link. Okay. And then we'll be having a common place and a Google Drive folder wherein we'll be uploading all the presentations. Okay. So like what you are seeing is a presentation. Now this presentation will be converted into a PDF and it will be uploaded on the Google Drive. All right. So the moment this link is active, after every week you will be able to see the link and the PDF uploaded in the Drive. Okay. Now once the session is over, it takes around 1 day or 2 day maximum to get these things uploaded into the YouTube as well as the Google Drive. This is the YouTube channel. No need to write it, because the moment this link is available, you will be able to directly access it via click. Okay, so no need to copy it or save it. Similarly, the Google Drive, as I shared, it's a shared drive folder, and it will be again available through this particular link. All right, I think everybody knows the course name, and the instructor and the curator of the course is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir. He was basically at the IDC School of Design, which is at IIT Bombay, and he was also heading a lot of activities in the DIC, which is the Design Innovation Center, which is again at IIT Bombay. Currently, Professor Chakravarti is at the School of Design in Mahindra University. So he's currently the founding head there, and he's trying to set up a design institute. The course run is for 12 weeks, which means that every week, once for 12 weeks, we'll be meeting and we'll be having these live sessions. Now, every week I'll also be telling you the deadlines, because the week one deadline is 6th of August. We still have quite a lot of time for it. The final examination date is 26th of October. It will happen in either of the two slots. It could be in the pre-lunch slot, or it could be in the post-lunch. Okay. Now that again is decided and dependent on a lot many factors. One of them being the number of students, right? So the questions around this can be addressed when we are closer to the completion of the course. Okay, things around hall tickets and what to do and not to do. Okay, we'll have a separate presentation. In fact, a session will be conducted in addition to the 12 weeks journey. So what we'll do is, apart from the 12 weeks, we have one extra session which is primarily dedicated to your examination. Okay, so no need to worry about it. We'll be dealing with all those important aspects of what to do, what not to do, how to prepare, and again we'll have a set of 10 questions on that extra session as well. Okay, now there is another very interesting heading here, which is called the progress. Now you can evaluate your own progress using this particular tab. So what you see here is the unit wise progress, which means that how much content are you consuming, how much content you are viewing, okay, how much content you are absorbing. Okay, so on the basis of how much you are looking at your content, you'll get these bars. The blue ones basically represent that the content you have already consumed, and the gray ones represent that this is something which is left, right? So again, it is not related with your assignment scores, but then it also gives you an idea of how much content you have consumed, how much content you have gone through. Okay, as and when your weeks are getting over, maybe from the next week onwards, once the deadline of assignment 1 is over, you will also be able to see your assignment scores. Okay, so if the assignment has 1 mark for each question, so probably out of 10, you'll be seeing whatever marks you have got. Okay, so that is something which is dependent on how you perform in your each and every assignment, and that will be visible only once your deadline of the assignment is over. Now another which is thing which is very, very critical here is that every assignment can be submitted multiple number of times. Anybody would like to tell what does it mean? What do you mean by this?
The last time answer that we have given will be taken into account.
Very well said. So like I mentioned that every assignment has a deadline. Okay, now say for example the deadline of week 1 is 6th of August. Okay, which means that you can attempt the questions any number of times till this particular deadline. Okay, so you can submit it. Maybe 2 days later, you are again re-looking at the content, and you feel that, oh, probably the answer of that question is a little different one. So what you can do is you can change your choice, and then you can again submit. Okay, so this resubmissions of the answers can be done many number of times till your deadline is over. Okay, after the deadline, you won't be able to make choice because then you will be getting your scores. All right. So many times it happens that you've gone through the content, you attempted, you submitted, but 2 3 days later you realize that maybe the answer of that question is a little different one. You will go again through the content, you will find figure it out, and then you can resubmit it. Okay. So for all the internal scoring, the platform is very very learner centric, and you get a lot of opportunities to improve upon your score. All right. Here comes the important slide, the examination certificate. All right. Now, if you are a passionate learner and you are just interested to understand about, what the course is, how we take up the entrepreneurial journey, how do we make use of the various incubation facilities which are available across India, right? Then the course is completely available for free. Okay. However, if you need a certificate, if you need a certification from the NPTEL, in that scenario, we'll have to register for the course. Okay. What do you mean by register? We mean that you will have to appear for the examination. Now, for the examination, it has a very nominal fee of 1,000 rupees per exam. And there are certain date criteria as well. If you do it before 11th of August, the fee will be this. But if you do a little later, till 15th of August, then a late fee component will be imposed upon. Okay. So all those who are especially doing it from an academic requirement, I would suggest you to please do the registration as soon as possible. Do not wait for the last date and even for the late fee date. Do it and get free from all these, things. Also, there is a 50% fee waiver for the different categories, whether you belong to SC/ST category or PWD. What you will need to do is you will need to validate it by uploading the relevant certificate. The moment you will do it, the NPTEL team will have a look at it and they can offer you this fee waiver. Going further, how to get the certificate, right? Now, this entire course has evaluations under two heads. Okay. So the first head is internal, and I'll tell you, what I mean by that. And external. Okay. And then you have your overall scoring. All right. So by internal, we mean all the week-wise assignments which are having deadlines. Okay. So the week 1, week 2, week 3, all those. So from week 1 to week 12, all those assignments, they are basically your internals. So what NPTEL does is that it calculates the average of best 8 assignments. Okay. Although there are 12 assignments, but they calculate the average of best 8. So they take the best 8 of it and the weightage given to it is 25%. Okay. Then comes your external, which will be the examination in physical mode, wherein you are visiting a exam center. You are going to an exam center and you are sitting for the 3-hour paper. Okay. Now, since it is a examination which is proctored and it is invigilated, so it gains higher weightage of 75%. Okay. So this becomes an overall scoring of 100%. Now, what is important is that, what are the criteria of getting the certificate? Okay, now this is very, very important because the importance of internals and externals are very critical. Okay. So first, coming on to the internals, you need to have a score of greater than or equal to 10 out of 25. For the externals, you need to have score greater than 30 out of 25 so that your overall score is greater than 40 out of 100. Okay. Now, there could be multiple scenarios in it. For example, you may not perform very well in the internals. You might get 5 out of 25. But here you perform exceptionally well. You get 60 out of 75. Okay. And your score is overall 65 out of 100. Okay. Now you are meeting this criteria. You are also meeting this criteria, but you are not meeting this criteria. Okay. Which means that you will not get the certificate. Not get certificate. Okay, because this is an and condition. Okay, and condition आप लोगों को पता होगा. The and condition says that both the conditions have to be met. Okay, तो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि you skip around the internals and you just give your externals and you score six for more than 40 marks, you get certificate. No, you will not get. Another scenario is you perform exceptionally well. You perform 20 out of 25. However, here you performed 20 out of 75. Although your score is 40 out of 100, you are meeting this criteria. You are also meeting this criteria exceptionally, but you are not meeting this criteria of more than 30 marks. Okay. Again, you will not get a certificate. Right. So it's very, very critical that you take your internal assignments with due weightage. Obviously, externals have to be taken very sincerely because they have a higher weightage so that easily you can go beyond the score of 40 marks. All right. So this is an important component of certification, and this needs to be taken care because this is the prime factor of getting a certification. Now, even the certification has different aspects to it. How you score more than 80, more than 90. You get different kinds of certificate. You get a elite certificate. You get a gold, silver certificate according to the marks you are getting. Okay, we will go about it as well. Okay. Now these are the brief topics of week one, wherein we had the introduction to entrepreneurship. There was a term introduced called evidence-based entrepreneurship. Then we had Gopal Deshpande Center, GDC, the STEM colleges, why startups fail, what are the mistakes by startup, the lean startup, and then we had the journey of Dinoj, and there's this ADL which is called as the additional learning material. So if you've got time, you're interested in this particular course, please do attend the ADLs. Okay. So normally in your assignment, you will be having two typology of questions. These are the two typology of questions. The first one is basically where single correct answer is there. And here you have multiple correct answers. All right. So these are also called radio buttons. The intent is that only one is selectable. If you click here, it will be selected. If you click here, then this will be removed. So only one could be the correct answer. Here you can have multiple choice. What do you want in your burger? I can select, okay, I want cheese. I also want tomato. I also want cucumber. Or I want all four of them. Okay. So these are the two typology of questions, but we'll also see, how the questions can be framed in very interesting ways in our set of questions today itself. All right. Now, marking of multiple choice questions. Now, this is pertaining to the week-wise assignments which you get. Okay. I would request all you to please take a moment to read all point 1, 2, and 3. Just take 2 minutes to read it, and then we'll try to understand what do we mean by it. Okay. Just read it. All right. So I believe all of you have read this, and the best way to understand such critical principles is to take some example. So we have got one example. Okay. Now the question is, which among the following are in Delhi? And Delhi is the capital of our country. So these are certain monuments which are present in Delhi, the built forms. Qutub Minar, India Gate, Gateway of India, and Lotus Temple. So you need to tell me what are the correct answers for this question. It's just a dummy question. Please tell me. You can type in the chat box the correct answer for this. Which among the following monuments, you can call it the monuments, are present in Delhi? Qutub Minar, India Gate, Gateway of India, and Lotus Temple. All right, a lot of people are suggesting different options. Very interesting. Okay. Great. All right. So the correct answers are Qutub Minar. We have also got India Gate. And then the correct answer is Lotus Temple from Baha'i. Okay. These are the correct answers. Most of you have said very correctly. Great. Well done. So Gateway of India is not in Delhi. These two are very close, and a lot of us get confused around it. So that's there. Now let's get back to the scenarios. Right. The first, second, and third scenario. Let's read the first statement. It says that if all options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks. Okay. So, which means that if I had selected A, B, and D, I will correctly get full marks. Okay. So, if it is a 1 mark question, I'll get 1 marks around it. Okay. I think this is the very simplest version of it. The second condition is if at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. All right. For example, you selected A, B, and C, or you selected B, C, and D, or you selected A, C, and D. Okay. Now here, if you see, you are also selecting correct answers, which are A and B, which are B and D, which are A and D. But you are also selecting the wrong answer, which is Gateway of India. It is the incorrect one. Okay. Now, since you have selected the incorrect option, you will not get any marks, 0 marks. Okay. However, if you go to the condition 3, which is if only correct answers are chosen, but not all correct answers are chosen, then partial marks proportional to the number of correct answers will be awarded. Okay. What it means is that, say for example, these 3 are the correct answers, A, B, and D. However, you selected A, B, and you had a doubt with C and D, you submitted it. Or you selected B and D, or you selected A and D, or you just selected A, or you just selected B, or you. So in all these scenarios, since you are selecting the correct answers but not all the correct answers, you will be getting proportional marks. Maybe here for these two you will get 0.66. If you are selecting just one, you might get 0.33. Okay. So if you are getting marks in decimal, it is probably for this particular condition. All right. So a lot of learners also had these doubt that how come we are getting decimal marks. Okay. So it is very important to know that this is the background algorithm which is said wherein, if you are selecting only the correct answers but not all, then you should get certain proportional marks in the number of correct responses. However, if you select any of the incorrect one, then you will not get any marks. Okay. So whenever there is a doubt, please remember this particular clause and attempt the question accordingly. Okay. Now this is based on the input by NPTEL team in all the previous years, and this is how the marking of the week wise assignments are being done. All right. Let's proceed further. Now comes the content recap. Since I'm assuming that most of you have already gone through the 1 hour lecture session of that particular course. But even if not, then what we'll do is we'll just quickly browse through the images. Okay. Now what you see is a visual summary. It is not the entire content which is there, but all the things which can basically guide you in terms of understanding what was covered in this particular course will be available to you in this particular format. Okay, so we'll take a few minutes just to go through the content recap. And before we start with our set of 10 questions, we'll take a 3 to 5 minutes break because continuous sitting is also not good for health. Okay, that is also very, very important. So we'll take a 3 to 5 minutes break and then we'll start with our set of 10 questions. Okay, but before that, let us go through the content recap. Okay, so the content was about who are entrepreneurs, what do they do, how do they do it, and things around it. And then they started informing about the Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center, GDC, for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. There were these two legendary people who talked about in this particular week one lecture, Mr. Anand KV and Mr. Raghuttam Roy, and they were telling about certain informations from their GDC journey of how many startups they proceed ahead with their programs of incubate, high incubate. This is the journey which they were telling about, how what they have introduced between the research lab and the incubator aspect. Then the reasons about why the startups are failing and why they did not survive, what were the needs, what are the reasons of them failing. And then they shared certain examples about, how the disruption had occurred, how they disrupted the entire ecosystem. Then they introduced the lean startup and the business model generation canvas, which has 9 components. And then there were certain information about the agile engineering, the customer development framework, and how design thinking basically ties up with the lean startup and agile methodology. Then comes the journey of Dino Joseph, who was an alumni of IIT Bombay, and he joined the Betic Center, and how he started with a sterile closure for conducting surgeries, and then slowly and based on meeting different customers, interacting with the customers, he pivoted and positioned himself into a different, very different aspect of the burn patients, right? So these are certain visuals from what they have visualized, and then what is their roadmap of improving the products and making their work go hand in hand. The team, okay, right. So with that, we conclude the content recap. As I mentioned, let's take a 5 minute break. It's 3:54. So at 4 o'clock, we'll start with our set of 10 questions. You can take a very quick break and please get back. Okay. 4 o'clock, we'll start. Correct. So I'm really sorry for the trouble. There was some issue with my screen and the tablet getting heated up. I hope this will behave perfectly for the next few minutes we have. So the options were A, B, C, and D. This included run over by market, running out of cash, lack of focus, and poor marketing. So whenever you are trying to attempt these questions, it's very, very important that you understand the context. Okay, so the context is according to Mr. KV Anand in module 1. Okay, so we are not asking what is your opinion why startups fail. We are asking about according to what Mr. KV Anand said in module 1, what are the top posts? What
Are you speaking, Abhishek? You are not audible actually.
Am I audible now? Okay. Am I audible now?
Now you are audible.
Right now?
Yes, you are audible, but the screen,
Yeah.
whatever the.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. It's really helpful. I believe now audio and video both are visible.
Yes, great.
Okay, okay, right. So most of you have mentioned A, B, C, and D, and it's important to understand that the question here being asked is about the context of Mr. KV Anand. Okay, we are not asking about what is your thinking into what is the topmost cause for 90% of startups today. The context here is, according to Mr. KV Anand in Module 1, what is the topmost cause? Okay, now, if you see here, we have got run over by market, running out of cash, lack of focus, and poor marketing. Okay, now this is the screen validation. If you have gone through the content, it mentions that 90% of the startups can get run over by the market. Okay, so all those who have mentioned this particular aspect, and if you go further, more than 90% of the startups, the number can be varying between 97 or 98% because they face when they go to the market the kind of problems they are facing. Okay, so the correct answer is getting run over by market. All those who have opted for option one, very good, you have correctly responded to this particular question. The topmost cause for 90% of startups to fail is being run over by market, or there is no market need. Okay, if the other option which you get is no market need, that also will be the correct answer. Okay, either run over by market or no market need. All right. Shall we proceed to the next question? Okay. Here comes your second question. Amongst the following options, what which is the most important feature for any startup to pursue, as discussed by Professor Chakravarti, lecture one? Now, you have to tell me one of the most important features for any startup to pursue, according to Professor B.K. Chakravarti, sir. The options are customer reliability, customer service, customer discovery, and customer feedback. So we have started getting voting, and we have got one vote for customer C, customer discovery. We have got votes for B, D. We've got B as well. Right. Keep voting, guys. Interesting. Interesting trend. So as of now, we have got two votes for customer service, three votes for customer discovery, and five votes for customer feedback. Okay, this okay. So all right, that's great. So we've got as of now six votes. All right, all right. Just check whether the recording is still on. Okay. All right. So I think a lot of people are saying customer discovery in the last few voting points. All right. You've got two more votes. So overall, we have got maximum votes for customer discovery and followed by customer feedback and then the customer service. All right. Let's see the screen validation. Customer discovery is the key feature one should follow for any startup. From the Ola story, we have learned that the customer discovery is the most important feature in any startup. You saw how Bhavish Agrawal from the Ola could trigger the change from being an Ola trip to the tax hailing service, right? So all those of you who have opted for option C is customer discovery is the correct answer. Okay. Now, if you see the other options, customer service, customer feedbacks, now these are also equally important, right? These are very much critical. But the very first step The critical step is to discover your customers. Once your customers are discovered, once your product is already built, then comes your customer feedback, how the product is behaving, what are the challenges. Then comes your customer service. What are the issues they are facing, how to rectify that. Okay, so these are the things which come later in the stage of the entire product development cycle. The first thing which comes is the customer discovery. All right. So option C is the correct answer for question number 2. Let's proceed with our question number 3. What is the meaning of success according to Mr. Raghuttam Roy? Now, Mr. Raghuttam Roy is from the GTC. All right. Option A, going to the market, delivering the product as well as make money, build and tackle the most difficult of solutions, and moving out of your comfort zone. So let's name it A, B, C, and D. So we've got 4 votes for B as of now, 1 vote for C. Right. Okay. Keep voting, guys. I would want more opinions from you coming for this particular question. Going to the market or delivering the product as well as make money. So you are giving the product, but you are also trying to make money to sustain yourself. C is build and tackle the most difficult of solutions. And D is moving out of your comfort zone. So he's trying to understand what is the meaning of success. Okay. Who is trying to understand? Mr. Raghuttam Roy. Now, again, this is something which is very, very individualistic. From somebody other than Raghuttam Roy, the definition of success can be very, very different. But here we are referring to the person who is mentioned here from GDC, and according to him, he has defined a certain meaning of success, which majority of you are opting as option number B, which is delivering the product and make money. Let's do the screen validation for it. Okay. So the content here says that ideas are simple, building a business is difficult. Startups should be able to deliver the product along with making money. Right. So why do you think making money is important while delivering the product? Anyone who would want to answer? If you want to type in, you can also use the type feature of the Gmeet, or if you want to speak up, you can please unmute and speak. To sustain ourselves. Very correct, very good. Now, even if you see the last paragraph, if you just read it out, but when you want to make a business out of it, which means the business should make money, it should deliver a product or a service and make money at the end of it, enough to keep everybody happy, then you have success. Okay. Now, obviously, money is not everything, but then if you are running a company, running a business, you want to take your things seamlessly forward, like mentioned by one of the runners, to keep the startup running and smoother cash flow, because there are n number of things which needs to be taken care of in terms of financials. And if you have your financials coming up great, things will flow. You need to keep your employees happy as well. आपको उनकी salaries भी देनी है. आपको you have to buy new things as well. You have to improvise the technology of the product. So all these requires a lot of money, right? So making money is equally important while same time delivering a product, right? So I hope you're getting the psychology of Mr. Rao, what he's trying to say. So most of you have opted very, very correctly. The correct answer for question number 3 is option B, which is deliver the product and make money. All right. Well done, guys. Let's proceed with our question number 5. It says, what are the main objectives of Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center, which is also called GDC, for innovation and entrepreneurship, as discussed in module 1 by Mr. Rao. Okay. The options which are given is to work with the STEM colleges and fund science-based ideas, to benefit multinational corporations, to increase the probability of success, and to build an entrepreneurial thinking. Okay, we've got four options. Now remember here, we do not have circles here, we have square, which means that there are multiple correct answers. Okay, so there are multiple correct answers. You need to tell what are the different options which are correct. So we have got options for C and D, we have got options for A and C, we have got options for C and D. Okay, three people have said C and D. Then we have got A and C as well. All right. Okay. People are also saying A, C, and D. Interesting. Yeah. So we've got two people who are saying A, C, and D. Um, Bhargav and Rashika. All right. And many of them are saying C and D and A and C. All right. All right. So obviously B is not the option for any one of the participants. So it's not there. What we are saying is versions of A, C, and D. Right. Okay. Great. Mr. Gokhale has also said A, C, and D. All right. So let's try to figure out the GTC's objective. Okay. So the objectives of GTC are to improve the odds of success of startups emanating from the research labs, to build entrepreneurial thinking in the campuses by working with the STEM colleges and incubators across India. Okay. So if you see, the entrepreneurial thinking is there to increase the probability of success, the odds of success, yes, and to work with the STEM colleges and science-based ideas. So what you see here is the options A, C, and D, which are the correct ones. I think majority of you have been voting for this. So most of you will get full marks followed by proportionate marking. I think none has answered B. So that's a very good thought process of uh, making the choices which are the safest ones. Right. So all of you will get some marks. Well done. Great work. Okay. Let's come to our question number 5. So we are halfway through to our question set, and it says, "How does entrepreneurship contribute to economic growth?" Okay, it's in a little different direction, but then if you have gone through the content, you'll be able to address it. How does entrepreneurship contribute to economic growth? Okay, so the option A is by developing robust business models without innovation. Option B says by focusing solely on customer validation and discovery. Option C says by identifying and solving market problems effectively. And option D is by avoiding competitive risk, market isolation. Okay, interestingly, uh, the only option which I am seeing in the response section is option C. Interesting. If we go through the options, we have by developing robust business models without innovation. Now, this term here, without innovation, doesn't make sense. Obviously, this is not the correct answer. So, wise choice not to make this as an option by focusing solely on customer validation and discovery. Okay, this could be an option, but then we have to figure out what are the other options. Okay, the third says by identifying and solving market problems effectively. All right, because we are trying to not get run over by the market, and that's why market is very critical. So yes, we need to look at market problems by avoiding competitive risk through market isolation. So also this doesn't make sense. Why you would want to avoid any competitive risk? Because competition will always be there in whichever market you go. It's very hard to avoid this particular aspect, and you cannot get isolated from the market. Okay, so obviously A and D does not make sense. But if you see, more closer are B and C. But from the inputs we are getting from the learners, C has got the majority, maybe more than 10 votes till now. Let's see the correct reference. Now, if you refer to the slide at this particular timestamp, uh, entrepreneurs are the people who spot opportunities where others see confusion. These are the people who spot opportunities. They break new grounds to solve problems and bring economic prosperity to the country. Okay, okay, well done, well done. So, if you see the question, we are talking about the economic growth. We are talking about the larger interest in terms of nation, in terms of nation building, right? थोड़ा broad level पे, zoomed out level पे we have to see that how this entrepreneurship is contributing to the economic growth in the largest interest of the nation, and that is by identifying and solving market problems effectively. What are the problems there prevalent in the market? Try to address it such that the masses are up and above all these factors and issues, and they are able to live a comfortable life. Well done, well done. Okay, let's come to our question number six. Again, this is around GDC because that has been one of the more core areas of this particular week's content. So, GDC aims to build Dash. Now, this is the first blank. Dash thinking and design in the campuses by working with Dash colleges and Dash across. Okay. Now, if you see here, we are trying to uh, we are having a very different typology of question wherein it is all fill in the blanks, but then the choices are in the radio buttons. Okay. So this is another way of asking a question in which we can utilize the same radio button. Which API is saying screen is not showing. Can anyone confirm if the screen is visible or not?
Screen is visible.
It's visible. All right. So here are the options: startup, all schools. So for all the different blanks, you have got the three options, and I believe the screen is visible for most of you. So please, accordingly, you respond to the question. Again, let me write options of A, B, C, and D. And we are getting responses mostly towards C. Okay. And there are responses towards B as well. All right. So we are again referring to GDC, which aims to build what kind of thinking in campuses and by working with what type of colleges and across India. Okay. So you can see whether the option is startup thinking and all colleges and schools, whether it is design thinking and with government colleges and private institutions, whether it is entrepreneurial thinking with STEM colleges and incubators, or whether it is entrepreneurial thinking with STEAM colleges and schools across India. Okay. So I think majority of the responses are going towards option C, more than six. One option around B, and so I believe most of you are aware of what STEM is. Anybody can tell me what STEM is? STEM college, STEM. You can type in or you can speak. All right, all right. And what is esteem? What is the A here? Yes, so I believe everybody and most of you have correctly mentioned. It's about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What about A? What is A? Analytical. All right. Any other option for A? All right. So take it as a homework. You have to figure out what A is. Okay. STEM people have correctly mentioned. And okay. So let's see what is the correct response to the question. So that is GDC's vision for India, and they want to build the entrepreneurial thinking in campuses by working with the STEM colleges, which is primarily around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and various incubators across India. Okay, so if you see the three blanks which were there, it was entrepreneurial thinking, STEM colleges, and the incubators, right? So if you see here how the content is being utilized to frame question, it's very critical, right? So the correct answer is option C, which like many of you have already mentioned, is about building. So I think if you also see the other options, now startup is not a thinking like one of you have correctly mentioned. It is not. So if you see design thinking can be considered something, and entrepreneurial thinking is also there, but there is nothing called a startup thinking, right? So the first option is obviously not correct. Now, if you see these three options with government colleges and private institutions with STEM, incubators, team. Now, you will be able to answer this only if you have gone through the content and GDC's vision. Okay, this is something which is very critical around it. So this can be addressed only if you are going through the content. Otherwise, it's very difficult to figure out the other two responses. All right. Okay. Let's come to our question number seventh, which is complete the following sentence with the most suitable option as per module one. Startups fail not because of bad ideas. Startups fail because they fail to get dash. What is it that they fail to get? Again, if you see, it's a single correct answer question. You've got option A, B, C, and D. The options are a proper team, customers, business patents, and market popularity. Why the startups fail? What is it that they fail to get? So the sentence here says that startups fail not because of bad ideas. So it is not that the bad ideas that is leading to the failure of a startup. In fact, it is about failing to get this plan. The options are proper team, customers, business patents, and market popularity. We've got around vote for customers, option C. Got one vote for C, one vote for A. All right. All right. So if you see quite clearly, a majority votes are going towards option B. Then comes your they fail to get a proper team and business meetings. Okay. Let's look at what the content has to say. Startups fail not because of bad ideas. Startups fail because they fail to get the customers. This is what happens. Okay. So the correct answer for question number 7 is that they fail to get the customers. Now, property may also be one of the reasons, but that is not among the top ones. Okay, it may be like in the third, fourth hierarchy level, but the first one is about the market and not getting the right customers, not talking to potential. So those are the right answers. All right. Now comes your question number 8. According to Mr. Kaviana, what is the most common yet crucial mistake by the startups? Building uninteresting solutions, not checking the feasibility of the ideas, not talking to potential customers, and raising capital early on. Okay, Mr. Kevan is from the GTC. And what is the most common crucial mistake by startups? These are the four options. Not building, building uninteresting solution means the solutions are not very interesting. Not checking the feasibility of the ideas, whether the idea is even feasible or not. Not talking to the potential customers. The customers might be using your product or service. Those are the potential customers, and you're not talking to them. Instead, you're talking to your friends and family members. And the last is raising capital early on. So even if you have not validated your product, it's not yet validated by the potential customers, you are trying to raise capital early. So I think we've got all right, we've got more than 12 votes for option C as of now, right? I'll just check at the recording because the recording is the first instance got stopped and that. Anyways, let's keep our session here. All right. So we have got more than 15 responses as of now. Are suggesting that the correct answer is option C, which is not talking to the potential customers. Let's see the screen validation. You're not talking to the right people. The right people are your potential customers. Instead, you are talking to the wrong people. What do you mean by wrong people? You're talking to people who are conveniently available to you. Okay, who are conveniently available to you? Your family members and your friends and your the uncles and aunts who are living nearby. Okay. So that's what they're trying to highlight. That you need to talk to your potential customers and not the ones which are easily accessible to you and your family members, your friends. They might be a potential customers, but then the GTC has built their platform and their program in a way that the QATs need to reach out to at least 100 potential customers. If you have gone through it particularly, they have to meet 100 different people. Okay. So as you have rightly pointed out, the correct answer is not talking to the potential customers. Very well. Okay. Now let's proceed to our second last question. According to the module Evidence-Based Entrepreneurship, the essence of lean startup is not to guarantee success, but to, and there's a dash. We are talking about the essence of lean startup, and it's not to guarantee success, but to. The options are reduce the value of the company, reduce the odds of failure, reduce the odds of success, and reduce the startup problems. It, yeah, giving responses. Okay, please keep voting. I'm just pointing out the votes which are mentioned here. We got 5 votes for B, 5 votes for D, 1 vote for A. Sorry, 1 vote for C. If you see the question and if you go through the responses, probably you'll be able to handle this question very clearly. The question is, according to the module evidence-based entrepreneurship, the essence of lean startup is not to guarantee success, but to. Okay. So the first one says reduce the value of the company. This again is very irrelevant. Why would you want to reduce the value of the company? So it's obviously not the correct one. Then comes the reduced odds of failure. It might be because we have seen by either increasing the odds of success or by reducing the odds of failure. Third says reduce the odds of success. Why would you want to reduce the? You want the startup to be successful, right? You want through this methodology, you want the startup to succeed, be fruitful, and then reduce the startup problems. Okay, all right. So I think majority are between B and D, and few between A and C. Let's see the correct answer. So, lean startup does not guarantee the success, it just reduces the odds of failure. The odds of you failing in a startup will be reduced if you use the lean startup approach, right? So, you can refer to the slide time at 39:20 and you'll be able to understand what they are referring to. So, the correct answer is reduce the odds of failure, which most of you have been referring to. I think majority of you have for option B is to reduce odds of failure. Very well done. Very interesting. All right. Let's come to our final question, which is question number 10. And the question is select the fundamental questions for any innovative startup to ask themselves and validate before moving on to the next stage. According to Mr. KV Anand, as per module 1. So, what you need to do is you need to select the questions which any startup would want to ask themselves. Okay, according to Mr. KV Anand. So, option A is who needs it and why? Can you deliver that value? Can you use it yourself? And can you make enough money? So, now remember that it is a multi select question and there are multiple correct answers. People have started saying option A, B, and D, A and B, A, B, and D, A, and B. D, okay. All right, so if I look at the responses, slate is around A, B, and D, and B and D are also getting the right responses. Uh, don't have any option. We've got what's for option C as well, right? So basically, is informing the startups that uh, you need to have answers to these questions before you start your journey, which is or your journey with the product, which is who needs it and why can you deliver that value and can you use it yourself and can you make enough money? All right, correct. So majority we have got A, B, and D, with few responding to A and B, B and D. All right, let's do the screen validation. Okay, so the three questions for any innovation or a startup: who needs it and why? Who are your customers? Who are you talking about? Who are your potential customers? Why do they need it? What is the need? Okay, can you deliver that value? What is value that it is being created in their lives? Okay, what is the value that you are delivering with your product? And can you make enough money? Again, it is something which aligns with what Mr. Rao has said about, you know, defining success. So in a way, you are saying that both are trying to say the same thing, where deliver the product as well as make money. And here, if you see Mr. KP Anand is also saying the same thing, that you need to see what is it that you are offering to the customers in terms of value, in terms of needs, and at the same time, whatever you are offering, are you also gaining in terms of, are you making enough money to stay afloat, right? So, as rightly many of you have said, the correct answers are A, who needs it and why, can you deliver that value, and can you make enough money? So all these three options are correct. And well done to most of you. You have responded to the question in a very way. Very well done. Okay. Now the second slide is basically the questions via discussion forum. So now, since I have already told you about what discussion forum is, you can start posting your questions, and as and when the questions are being posted there, we'll try to incorporate them into our last slide or the last section, and we'll try to address it for all of you. We'll obviously try to reply all, but at the same time, we'll also put it at the end of our session. Okay. Now let me get back our presentation area. I'll stop presenting. All right. So once again, I would like to thank most of you who had joined in and you who have participated in the very first session. And I'm really thankful that majority of you have gone through the content, and which is evident from the way you are answering it very correctly and very closely. It's a very good thing that if you attend the session and then you join in these sessions, because then we'll be having much more fruitful understanding of the subjects, and the variability will be much lesser. Okay, if you look at the standard deviation of the correct responses, I think it is almost close to a very nice peak. The variability is very less. And before we stop the session today, what I'll do is I'll just share my screen and open up the portal, NPTEL portal, and I'll just show you the different tabs and the links, because for many of you, it might be a very new thing to encounter upon. The UI is little different. And however, if you are very much comfortable with the interface, you are able to access each and everything. It's perfectly fine. You can drop off from the meeting. But if you are new to the portal, and probably this is the very first class, what I'll do is I'll just quickly browse through the various call to action and show you where the different links are. Meanwhile, I'll just open up. Give me a minute. I'll just open up the swipe portal. Share my screen once again. And I'm really thankful to a very vigilant audiences, because I was speaking and I was not audible. Then few of you pointed it out. Once the screen was also not visible. So thank you for being very vigilant, because the moment I start with the flow, it's very hard to see whether the things are shareable or the things are not visible. So please continue that vigilante action in the subsequent sessions as well. And let me just quickly open up the web portal. Right. So when the moment you log in, you will see a screen like this. I hope my screen is visible. Yes, it is. Okay. So then you go to my courses, and what you see is the course which you have enrolled upon. You can go to the course, and here you'll be able to have a look at the entire dashboard. And like I said, on the left widgets, you can register for the examination. Here you will get all the week-wise content, right? The study material download videos. I'll show you, what opens up in that. And then this is the Q&A. The moment you click here, you can go to the Google discussion forum powered by Google. So here, if you post questions, it can be reached out to all the respondents, right? Like I mentioned, the progress. As of now, you might not be having much of a progress, but if you see here, there are three different tabs. One is the assessment scores, which means the marks which you are getting week wise. All right. And then is unit wise progress, the content you are consuming, content you are watching in, and then the grading and certification policy. So here you get to see a lot of details about what I have already mentioned in terms of 25% weightage, 75% weightage, overall score, and then the conditions about when you will gain the certificate. Right? It is all available there. My job is just to tell you. I mean, these are the information which are present. Right? Uh, then comes download videos. So there might be scenarios for many of you wherein in the college you are getting a good high internet speed. So what you can do is you can download the videos in one go, and probably when you get back home you can simply watch them. Okay, that is one of the ways by which you can deal with such internet fluctuations, right? And then you have the study material which is here. If you click here, you'll be able to see in a drive where all the PDFs are present. You can also download them if you have a better internet connection, and it will help you. I mean, especially for the revision perspective, going through PDF content is a lot more easier and quicker and manageable as well, right? Because going through the content is little challenging, right? But even if you're watching the YouTube content, I would suggest that what you can do is you can manipulate the playback speed, right? If you are well versed with the English language, then you can speed up the video in 1.5x if you have a time crunch, or otherwise you can understand the content in the 1x speed. Okay, so this is again I'm telling with respect to the revision. What I have seen is that at the time of final examination, the time is very less to prepare. Okay, so this way, these are the ways by which you can prepare for your final examination. Coming back here, if you see here, you've got this way you can have the access to all the week's contents. Okay, but I would suggest that you please go in a progressive disclosure manner, because it will be very overwhelming for you to see and have a look at the all the contents in one go, and the content also is prepared which builds on the learning which you receive in the previous content. Okay, so I would suggest that although you can gain access to all the week's content from here, but then it is preferable to go week by week. Okay, and something which you can obviously look at it is the type of certificate which you get. So, like I mentioned, you can get silver certificate, gold, elite, depending upon the performance of your examination. Okay, so this is like a motivation for you to perform well. On the basis of these kind of markings, you will get different types of certificates. Okay, so above 40, anybody will get one of the certificate, and above 90 is elite and gold, and these are the different types of certificate. And if you perform really great, you can be a part of this group, which is the toppers list. So I think we have it. Yeah. So for the previous semester, uh, we have this toppers list. These are the different people, including professionals. You can see students from different universities, colleges, even private institutions. Uh, Man, they are getting all 100% approved. Superb. I got it. All right. So, I mean, students are scoring 100% marks. That's still amazing to see. All right. So, this is all for the motivation. If you perform well, you'll be listed upon here. If you see last 3 to 4 years, the people are here. I think it's not changing. Maybe. There's a Yeah. If you see, these are all 1980s. All right, I think we are close to our time. If I can stop presenting, if anybody wants to add anything, any doubt, any questions, you're free to speak. We have a few minutes left. We can ponder upon those things. Anybody who has any questions, any comments? Okay. Okay. Fine, then I think we can conclude the session. Thank you so much for joining in and being a part of this journey. There is a question, what will be the structure of exam? All right. Uh, it's little too early to tell about the structure, but what I can tell you, what has been the structures in the past examinations. The new ones, it's not, the information is not shared with us, and the instructor decides upon. But I can tell you how it has happened in the previous few semesters. So it is primarily multiple choice questions, like the topology you have seen, typology you have seen in the week-wise assignments, and set of 10 questions which I presented to you today. So primarily it is around that. Okay, very rarely. So the learner has to sit on a computer system, and you are given a keyboard and a mouse, and you have to select the choice and you have to submit. So that is how the exams have been conducted in the past few semesters, the last 4 to 5 semesters. This is how it has been a computer-based examination, wherein you'll have to go to a particular center, and there you'll have to attempt that question. I hope this answers Sanket's question. Okay. Um, Vaibhavi has enrolled in 3 courses and all 3 exams are on the same day, but we can give only 2 exams. Okay, Vaibhavi. So it's really great to know that you have enrolled for 3 courses. That's very, very appreciable. Okay, so for that, I would request you to please drop a mail to the NPTEL team. There's a mail ID for NPTEL support team, and you can mail it to them and say that, this is the situation wherein you have enrolled in for 3 courses, and how can you be a part of the evaluation for all three. Okay, so that is something which will be dealt upon by the NPTEL team. So I would suggest that please write a mail to them, informing about this, and see what kind of clarification they give. Okay, that will help. Anyone else who has any doubts, any questions? All right, all right. So then I think we can conclude the session. Thank you so much for being here for the weekend and making learning your primary goal here. And I hope all of you will learn more and we can learn from each other as well. See you next week and have a great weekend. Thank you. All right, so this is done, and what we do is we try to save the presentation because saving it is very, very critical, especially in terms of PDF. So we try to save the copy in PDF. See, the first page in JPG, page So we go back as we got this and this. Obviously, what we'll do is we'll try to close it now. Thank you so much. In fact, what we can do is we can hold it for a while and just we browse upon and add the behavior. One PDF is uploaded.